Hey guys, welcome to the video. Today I'm just doing something a little bit different and we are going to be doing a figure fix-ups video. I've been trying to come up with new ideas for stuff to do with the action figure side of the channel. In fact, I've just been trying to branch out the channel in general, out beyond mail openings and pack openings and unboxings. So I thought I'd do a figure fix-up. I've never really done stuff like this before apart from the Great Malenko fix-up. And I did actually film two that I never released. But generally speaking, if I need to fix something up, I tend to just do it then and there, so that I don't really build up a load of things. But that's kind of where we are. And again, I have been actively thinking about different things I can do with the channel, and these fix-ups need doing, so why not? There were a few more that I wanted to do from the big wrestling figure bundles I got not long ago. I wanted to head swap a Booker T. I wanted to head swap a Sheamus, but both of those heads turned out to be in like pretty bad condition, so in the end I'm not going to be doing those. So the first thing that I'm looking at is the first Elite figure that I ever actually broke, and that is this Eric Rowan. It's a bit of a shame because although I would happily have Eric Rowan be the figure I have that's broken versus many of the other figures I own, this is actually in really good condition other than missing a leg. So that's a real shame. The way this broke, I was filming the Black Wednesday Fed, where it featured entirely people that WWE fired on Black Wednesday in 2020. I really liked that idea. It stuck with me for a long while, and eventually I started pulling the trigger. I was filming the inaugural match between this guy and Heath Slater, and I raised the leg to do a kick, and it just came straight off. And that, honestly, that took the fun out of the Fed, like, completely for me. Like, that was the end of it. I never revisited the idea from there. Not too long ago, I think last year, possibly the year before, although I hope not, because this has been sat around for a very long time if so, I picked up another copy of this Elite in much worse condition. So obviously we are going to swap those heads. The one with the missing leg can have the head with the marks all over it, and then I'm going to test the joints on the arms as well. But I'm pretty sure I did that before. I'm pretty sure we're just going to straight swap all of the bits from this one onto this one and end up with one decent condition double-legged Elite. This did actually feature in a Crazy Scientist Jericho scene as well, where Jericho is seen not being able to fix Rowan's leg back on. Next up, we have a couple of head swaps I want to do. We have this Bobby Roode, although now that I'm bringing it up, I haven't actually dug out the Bobby Roode that I'm going to swap the head with, but it's just the more up-to-date True Effects scan from a basic. The basic isn't really worth anything, and it is just a better head than this, as much as I don't have a major problem with this head, so we're going to be doing that with Bobby Roode. And finally in this one, we are going to be head swapping the Defining Moments Sting with this basic Sting, which I have almost certainly had for 2 years. There's been no rush to actually get this swap done, because Sting's only just now appearing in my Fed. You know, if I actually filmed it sometimes, it would be more glaring that it's taken 2 years to get to this stage. But yeah, I don't mind this head on the Defining Moment, and I think this is a better kind of young Sting head. But I just think this one captures his actual jaw shape a lot better. And if you're looking for like an older Sting especially, I think his face is just a lot more round than this. He's a very sharp face here. So yeah, I'm going to swap those over as well. I think that's more or less everything, unless I think of something else. We're in the process of making this. So, off we go down to the kettle department. So, here we are down in the kitchen, ready for the next part of the video. This is the Bobby Roode head that we're going to be swapping onto that Bobby Roode figure. As you can see, there is a little bit of marking around the forehead and stuff, so we are going to need to take an eraser to it as well. But generally speaking, I think this is a pretty good head. I think the paint wear on the sides, I mean, it's pretty symmetrical. It's more or less the same on both sides. I think that's just where it's been applied badly while they were making the change over to True Effects. It's the same with the front facial hair. This is literally just, you know, sprayed on at the front, and the kind of bits around it where it looks unpainted, that's just the way things were back then. But yeah, I think it's better than this head. This one's fine, but it's just, you know, it's like the level of detail, the difference is like night and day. This one actually looks a bit like Bron Breakker. So we're gonna get the kettle on, and I think I'm gonna do Eric Rowan first, because, well, I'm just gonna chuck them all in, but then I think I'm gonna hopefully do Eric Rowan first, because his not only matters the most, we're literally bringing the figure back to life, but he's been waiting the longest as well. So here we go, let's start getting everyone situated. I'm a much bigger fan of using boiled kettle water as opposed to using the hairdryer method. I think this is just a much more even way of getting everything warmed up. Now, what I have realized is that there is actually some paint where on the defining moments defining moments sting is gloves. So I'm actually going to swap those as well. So I'm going to put the head and arms. That's not really taking up less space in the bowl, has it? Careful not to drip the boiling water on my hands. Let's just have him holding his hands above his head. We're actually running out of room in here already. Better get the let's put Sting in second. Let's get the Rowans in. I checked it and the elbows on this thing are quite weak. I probably realised that before. It's the same thing as the Sting. I just thought about the gloves. I probably thought about it before, but yeah, I probably knew before that the Rowan's elbows were a bit messed up, but yeah, I can't do this with one hand. But yeah, we're definitely going to swap those. We're going to swap the Sting's gloves as well. Going for the 2-bowl method. Maybe it's just because I'm getting a couple of arms off today as well, or maybe it's because that's all heads, but you usually fit a few more in one of these bowls than two. And it's taken me so long faffing around with these Bobby Roodes are probably ready. So yeah, probably just wasted my own time there. I'll just get the other Sting in there. And then we want to be very careful. You want to get yourself the towel to drip them off first. And then we're just going to pop the heads off, which I'm not going to be able to do with one hand. So, as if by magic, that is what our elite Bobby Roode looks like now. And I think it's a huge improvement. I don't think there's anything wrong with that head, but it is just more detailed. I'll be very careful drying the Rowan off because there's so many nooks and crannies and huge beards and stuff for water to get stuck in. So there's our Rowan body. And what kind of sucks about this is you've got a mark here. This leg's loose and the ab joint's pretty loose too. All of that, we're getting a perfectly good Rowan figure stuck on there. I don't know. And then finally, we get the Stings out. The Sting that we're harvesting parts off came off fine, but the other ones had to go back in. Funnily enough, the arms actually came off easier than the hands, so we're just doing full arm swap in the end. Feels like the Stings really weren't on the same page. Like this one's really didn't want the hands to come off, wanted the arms to come off, and this one really didn't want the arms to come off or to go on. Oh dearie me. So with that finally done, we'll leave these to dry a bit, and then we'll do the recap upstairs. So the one I'm most happy with easily is the Bobby Roode. It's interesting, it almost makes his head even more shrunken into his shoulders. Like, that was already the case with this figure, but it almost makes it look even worse. But, yeah, I mean, I'm really happy with the head swap. Like, it's, like I say, I'm gonna need to try and get rid of that mark on his forehead and stuff, but generally speaking, it's such an upgrade for the figure. I'm really happy with it. With all of these, we're gonna at some point need to try and upgrade the elbows to double-jointed elbows, but, yeah, that's another job for another day. I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of the time it seems like you can't even arm swap the same guy with himself because the skin tone's different. So, yeah, it might be a bit of a chore to do that, but definitely on the radar for something to do in the future. But, yeah, Bobby Roode, I'm very happy with this. This figure's had a weird life with me. Like, I bought it for like £3.50 in Argos back in the day, which was so cool. And then he was in the DSW Rumble as kind of like a filler guy, where I just sort of fell in love with the way the joints moved. He was not supposed to be in the DSW Rumble anywhere near as long as he was, but I just enjoyed using him. And then because of that, and because I enjoyed using the Jack Swagger at WrestleFest, I booked the two of them in a match, like pick-fed style against each other in the after show, and I hated it. And then I was just going to be like, right, well, I don't need to sort of worry about keeping Bobby Roode around. And we have a lot more kind of roster filler now. But I don't know. I think he's going to stick around. And, you know, we've head swapped him for no reason if we don't use him for anything. So, yeah, I mean, you know, he loves to fight another day. I'll give him another properly animated match, I guess. And if he wants to perform well out of that, then, you know, that's up to him. And, you know, I do use Dolph Ziggler in my Fed a lot. So, you know, we could do a bit of Dirty Dogs action or something as well. You know, whatever. Then we have the Sting. Now, considering I wasn't completely sure about this head swap or whether I was just doing it for the sake of it, I actually really like it. I think it just makes him look like, it makes him look bigger. It makes the figure just look better. It just looks more of a solid Sting figure, I think. I definitely prefer this head. It looks really, really cool. And obviously, yeah, honestly, I just think it looks really, really good. But one thing that's definitely gone wrong in the process is that this wrist is now the loosest thing on the planet. So yeah, we've bottle jobbed that. That's really not survived the process of the arm swap. And now it's like, great, I'm going to have to put the original one back on. The whole thing of trying to shove the arms on was a waste of time. So great, I'm glad we did that, especially since the whole waste of time is the reason why it's ended up loose anyway. Must have got bent the wrong way in the process of like swapping it or something, but yeah. So that's cool. Bit of a mixed bag on that one, which is a shame because otherwise I'd be so happy that he has properly black gloves now. I guess I'll just swap back to the originals and paint them or something, I don't know. And then finally we've got the Erik Rowan. Obviously the most boring of the three anyway. But I'm also not particularly happy with this. I've come to realise that both of the legs are quite wobbly. The torso joint is quite wobbly. Yeah, I'll definitely just end up doing the exact same thing in the future, if and when I come across another Erik Rowan Elite. The arms are fine, the head's good and everything, but it's just I've just put the good parts on a figure that was not in great condition. And fundamentally, I don't actually know what I'm going to use this for. I mean, I mentioned the Black Wednesday figure fed earlier. There's no way I would imagine I will ever revisit that. There's a chance I'll revisit my NWA pick fed idea, and he probably would have appeared in that. And I do intend to use the Wyatt family eventually in my fed, but no time soon. So yeah, I mean, these are kind of also reasons why it's taken me multiple years to actually do this fix up. But yeah, bit of a mixed bag on the first one of these, and yeah, not great, not terrible, but not great. But if you did enjoy this video, then please do like, comment, and subscribe, and check out the other WWE figure videos in my channel, and there will be a playlist of them in the end screen, as well as the Malenko fix-up video. And as always, I really appreciate you guys joining me, so thank you all for watching, and goodbye.